Hey, it's Holly. In today's video, we are going to attempt a battery repair. I've talked about this a few times in the channel. Sometimes you get a set, someone left the battery in, it corrodes, it's a huge bummer, the battery won't turn on, you've got battery acid everywhere. It's not really what we want if we're collecting vintage toys. The good news is that sometimes it's reversible. It takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of safety precautions, but there are cases where we can get things working again. I've had a number of sets over the years where stuff hasn't worked out. What am I trying to say? Not that it hasn't worked out, that it wasn't working, and then we were able to get it to work. So I know my Fairy Light Wonderland, some of my Fun Time clocks, and also my pony riding show. There's been a few where they didn't work. In the most recent lot that I got, there were a few of them that weren't working, but I also just had a bunch of stuff in my duplicates bin where stuff wasn't working. So the good news is I was able to pull things out and actually test them, and the majority of the stuff I had in my duplicates bin, I hadn't kept track. It was actually working, so it was great. But I found a Starlight Castle that was not working. And these, if you can fix them, awesome. A lot of times, again, it's just the corrosion. So if we can deal with that problem, great. There could be other cases, and I'll get into what the other causes of it not working would be, but let's give it a shot. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, just gonna go over some tools here. So just so you have an idea of what I'm using when I do one of these projects. This is always gonna be hit or miss, but I'll give you a few tips. First is you always wanna make sure that you use alkaline batteries when you are testing or repairing or anything with a vintage poly set. So when I say alkaline battery, I mean a real battery, an original battery, I should say, as opposed to something that is rechargeable. Rechargeable batteries are great. The issue is that they don't tend to power the sets properly. There's just something a little bit different about them that I find if I put a rechargeable in, sometimes the sets won't light up, and then I put a alkaline battery in and bam. So use an alkaline battery, not a lithium ion or nickel, whatever these are. Bear with me. Clearly not good at my periodic table. So, you know, true alkaline batteries, that's what you want to be using. So have a few of those available. Just make sure that you've got ones that are good. So test them in something else too, make sure they work. I use a pair of tweezers. This can help to just clean up some of the corrosion. This is a black stick. This is just used for computer repair. It's a nylon stick, but it's got a pointy end and a flat end, and I find it's good for kind of prying at stuff. It's quite hard. These are Q-tips, so cotton swabs, and then I have micro applicators. So these are a very fine head on these. They're kind of similar to a cotton swab. They just have a fine little fuzzy head, and they're meant for a makeup application, like using something like an eyelash serum, but they're great for cleaning. Some elastics in case you have to MacGyver something together, and this is WD-40. So WD-40 is a lubricant that you would use to like oil a door, for example. I find that this one, especially this rust release one, it works really well to help get off corrosion related to either rust or battery acid. And then most importantly, just always do this safely. So wear gloves, folks, okay? So those are our tools. All right, so we are going to bring in our set. So this is a 1992 Starlight Castle. I've got about 10 of these at this point. This one is not working. And just to show you what I mean by that, we are going to open this one up. So I'm going to hit the lights. Okay, so batteries are in there, but no one's home. So that's unfortunate, but we'll see if we can get it going. So I'm going to pull the batteries out. Now, with this set, you kind of want to eyeball it first to just see that nothing is obviously, sorry, nothing's obviously broken. So there are some wires in behind here, and I have a very broken one that I can show you as an example of what you would see. So this one's completely, completely bust. But the battery connects under here, so this piece comes off. The battery connects behind here, and the wires come up through that side, and then that powers underneath this way to these lights, and then there are also wires that run behind the castle in behind here to power that. So you just want to, if you can, try to look in there and just make sure that you don't see anything that, like, the wire isn't snapped or broken. That could be one of the causes, and if that's the cause, you would need a new wire. You would need to take the whole thing apart, which, quite frankly, I don't think you can do without damaging this. I think it's all glued in there, and I don't see any screws or anything that you can take out. So it is possible. We've done it before, but it means that you're probably going to break the set. So you have to really just be invested in the project at that point. Okay, so I can see in this one, just by looking under the stairs in here, that everything looks okay. I don't see any issues with the wires. I'm just going to poke at it with a black stick just to see. Make sure nothing looks busted, but everything looks okay. I don't see any damaged wires. So typically the culprit of this, again, is going to be corrosion, and I can see some corrosion on that connector back there. So we're going to try to clean that up. So to do that, I've got my WD-40. I just spray it into a little container. Then I take cotton swab, and I'm just going to go in here and clean. And this one actually looks like it is rusted. So typically what I do is I get this moistened up with WD-40 so it starts to get a bit looser, and then you can chip away at it with other tools like tweezers or a black stick or a screwdriver. I mean, whatever you've got, as long as you are doing it safely. Okay, yeah, this is you can see all of that color coming up into my hand there, so it's clearly very rusty. Okay, this is a very awkward set to work on because of the lid not opening any more than that, but I'm sure you can hear this awful sound. Definitely feels very crunchy. Yuck. Now, just having a look at the other connectors in here. They're not bad. These actually look quite, like this one over here looks quite clean. This one looks really nice and clean. Like there is a little bit of rust there, but I think it's from when a battery was pulled out. I think the damage really is concentrated on this side. So the hope is if we can get this one clean, maybe it will power on for us. Really putting all my eggs in one basket here with this one. Because if I can't get this power on, well, then I've been filming for a while with no results. So fingers crossed. That's why I always kind of hesitate to do these videos, because if it doesn't work, then your content's not very exciting, is it? Get that rust off of there. Yuck. I mean, just look at that color. I think that really speaks for itself when you look at those. I think I'm almost ready to try popping a battery in this to see if we can get this to go. There's just a bit of rust underneath I want to try to scrape off. All right, what do you say? Should we give it a go? So let's grab our batteries. I'm nervous. We're gonna hit the light and no bueno. Nothing there. Okay, we're gonna turn the light back on. All right. We'll open it up and try again. So I do think that the problem is isolated here, which is the good news. But the bad news is sometimes the connection to the wire might actually just be gone. Just trying to see if I can get eyes on the connection itself. Okay, so it looks like the wire connects underneath. super gross. Don't know if we've made any progress here, but we're gonna try again. Oh my gosh! Y'all, we did it. We did it. How proud are we? How proud are we of ourselves? Okay, so let me see if I can just get this saddled back in. So, bear with me. Okay, so there it is. Okay, we're gonna open it up. Ta-da! So sometimes it's just about cleaning the connectors. As long as the lines are in place, it should work just fine, and that's the moral of the story here. So difficult to see that lit up. You could just barely see it on camera there, but we did it. We did it. Look at us. Go team. We did it. Yay. Okay, I'm proud of us. So there you have it. Sometimes a little bit of scraping, a little bit of, you know, something like this. You can find any kind of, whatever you would use on a door, basically. Excellent. I'm so happy. We did it, folks. Yay. All right. Good job, us. We did it. I'm so proud of us. Thank you for hanging out while I did that. You know, really scrubbing away at it, to be honest, to get this to light up. There it is. It's all barely shows up on camera there, but if I flip the switch, you'll see, right? So sometimes it's just a little bit of cleaning, and this one could actually, quite frankly, now that I'm looking at it, could use a little bit more cleaning. Like there's a bunch of dirt and stuff around in here. But we got it functioning again. So if you do have a set that's a total bummer, if you have access to the battery connectors and you have a little bit of time and patience, my tips would be, one, patience. Keep trying. I just must have got just enough to make proper contact there for this to light up. Of course, I could keep going, but I always get to a point where I'm like, you know what, it's working. I'm just gonna let it work from here. So lesson learned, right? Don't leave batteries in your sets unless you are going to keep an eye on them. I do have batteries in a few sets that are in my display cabinet, but they're ones that I look at fairly regularly. I'm also aware of it, so I know to go double check, make sure that they're still lighting up, and if not, pull the batteries out. So things to keep in mind. Also, when you're using something like WD-40 lubricant, don't like spray it in there, don't soak it in there, because one, your set will just completely stink. It's really awful smelling stuff. It just smells like a car. And then, you know, you don't want it to run around and maybe bubble stickers or get anything else wet and messed up. So just get it on a cotton swab, something small, dab away at it, or you might soak a cotton ball and kind of apply it to an area, but just try to keep it really concentrated just to the area that you're working on and use it sparingly, and then you can avoid extra damage elsewhere in the set. I'm just blown away. I am so happy about this. Like, this is just, and again, here I am. I should turn off the light again. Let's just experience that. Oh, I have the other light on me. So, that probably doesn't do much, but there you go. So it's pretty great. Good effort, right? We did a good job. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you done this before? Are you going to try it on any of your sets? If you have a set that you want to try it on, you just want my opinion on it, just drop a comment in terms of what set you're planning on doing it on. If I've attempted it in the past, I'll let you know. But it works, and quite frankly, that's great, because that's a set that otherwise I would have, you know, been like, well, what do we do with this now? Of course it's cute, but it's not ideal and it's not something that you'd want to sell, but now it's in a working state, which is great, which means it can have another life, so yay. So if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, please do that. It helps out the channel so much. And please like the video, leave a comment. All of that stuff helps build the channel with whatever the algorithm is out in the universe of YouTube. But I appreciate all your support, and that's the easiest way to support the channel. You can also find me on social media. Just look up Pocket Vintage Toys. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. That's the best place to connect with me outside of YouTube. But that's it for today. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.